Peatlands globally contain around a third of the soil carbon on the planet in about 3% of the area. So they're hugely significant carbon stores. We have a disproportionate amount of that in the UK. We think there's around 450,000 hectares of plantation on peatland in the UK alone, and that is probably causing carbon emissions and vulnerabilities to future climate change, as well as biodiversity impacts that are, negative more or less across the board. And we're tackling only a fraction of that area at the moment. Generally, with forest to bog restoration, there is standing trees on the site which need to come out. And normally we'd want to take as much of that timber and brash out as possible, so there's no nutrient input to the remaining peatland. Then normally we're left in forest to bog or in degraded peatland with a partially or completely drained site. So there will be drains, furrows, ditches across the peatland that need to be filled in, or at least prevented from draining it in the future. We also need to minimize the amount of variation in the surface level, because that introduces pools and dry areas that are then not good for future greenhouse gas emissions. And they're then minimizing the amount of regeneration of commercial conifer species, for example, potentially native tree species if they're dominating a site, and ensuring that the hydrology and the ecology of the site is able to maintain itself in the future.